afternoon. I'm Deidre Malone, and you're watching Dialogue with Deidre. Thanks so much for watching us today. We have an exciting show for you today. How many of you spend a great deal of time on social media? My question for you is, does a lot of it involve privacy? I mean, are you able to share information, private information that with your family and friends that you may not want other folk to have access to? Well, the gentleman on my show today, Tomas Jabornik, is with ProudOnTV, and he's going to talk about a new diary that you're going to want to hear about and probably work with, be engaged with. At least I hope so. He's going to be in the first half hour of our show. The second half hour of our show, Latrivia Nelson, she's the only one standing when it comes to someone wanting to discuss with me why young adults are not engaged in the political process and why they should be. We invited a number of young people. I'm not going to name names. They know who they are. But we're going to get them on the show in the next few weeks because I think that their opinion is important as well. But Latrivia Nelson, the producer of this show, is going to be on in the second half hour of this show. And we're going to talk hardcore politics. If you want to ask me any questions, please just go to the Dialogue with Deidre Facebook page. Post your questions there or any shows you may want to see on Dialogue with Deidre. Post them on Dialogue with Deidre, as well as email me at deidre@deidremalone.com. You can always go to the deidremalone.com website. We're retooling it now. Of course, it has Deidre Malone for Shelby County Mayor, but in the next few weeks, it will be all about Deidre Malone and what's going on in this community. So we invite you to just watch out for the changes in the website. Again, you're watching Dialogue with Deidre. When we come back, we'll start our conversation about ProudOnTV.
This past year, we all learned the statistics are true. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience child abuse, usually at the hands of someone they know. Child abuse happens every day. Learn the signs and take action, because keeping a child safe is everybody's business. Make a difference. Visit safehorizon.org to find out more. Safe Horizon, moving victims of violence from crisis to confidence.
Did you know that every 34 seconds someone has a heart attack? Every 40 seconds someone has a stroke? But it doesn't have to be that way. Every day there's hope. Join me and the American Heart Association and get serious about your heart and your health. If you're doing nothing, do something. If you're doing something, do more. Find healthy living solutions from the American Heart Association's My Heart, My Life. It's that simple.
Hello, my name is Crystal Conley. I'm with Internal Health and Medical Services. If you're looking for a house call doctor, one that you can call, one that cares, call 901-421-5174. We provide mobile eye, mobile x-rays, medication management. We'll help you get your prescriptions refilled. We're the doctors that care. Call us 901-421-5174. Looking to hear from you.
Dominique Dawes. How do you start your day? I always start with a healthy breakfast. Whether you're practicing for a game or studying for a test, eating breakfast every day can improve your concentration and help you perform your best. Kids who eat a healthy breakfast have more energy to work hard and play hard. That's why you should check out your school's breakfast program. It's for everyone, so make sure you energize your day. Eat school breakfast.
Wow, Teller Brown is your drugstore, and your drugstore. Hey, we everyone's drugstore. And we're located at 3333 East Chevy Drive, 794-3690. All medical plans. We support supported living, assisted living. We do it all. And guess what? We even have a $4 plan. Hey, call and ask Dr. Brown about that. I gotta go because she's coming with those boots.
The Carter Malone Group is a full-service public relations agency. Celebrating 10 years of being in business, the Carter Malone Group is located in Midtown Memphis and represents clients across the country. No matter what size your business, if you are interested in promoting your product or service and increasing your market share, contact the firm that can help you meet your goals. The Carter Malone Group. Call 901-278-0881 today.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Dialogue with Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Tomas Jabornik is with us with ProudOnTV. He is the Chief Operating Officer. Welcome to Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Talk to me about ProudOnTV. What actually is it?
Well, ProudOnTV, as you said previously, is a private family video diary. And it is dedicated to all the families who really would like to store and share their most precious videos and photo moments of their families with all the closest relatives with peace of mind, really, in safety and security. Yeah, so that is roughly what it is.
Who came up with this idea?
This idea, this came out as basically a byproduct of our business solution that we are about to launch shortly. And the founder of the idea is our CEO, actually, Mayor Latrivia. And he came up with the idea because he's a proud father of two. And his mom, for instance, she lives at the other side of the country. Yeah. And he really had to find a way how to share these moments and videos and daily routines and everything with his mom.
That's important. As a grandmother, I can tell you, I want to see my grandchildren in video.
Exactly, but because his vast expertise in the field of IT, he realized that any common social media or any common solutions called freemium services, they are out of the questions basically for these privacy issues mostly. So he basically created the solution himself, yeah. And then because of the really good feedback we got from the people around us, we decided why not to share it with all of the other families, yeah, because they can benefit from the solution also, yeah. So.
Is that really what makes Proud on TV kind of unique in terms of, do you couch it as a social media medium?
It is social media to a certain extent. If you consider your family or your closest friends your social life, then it is your private social media. Then. Okay. But we are not a service. We are software as a solution basically. So, but with the help of our diary, you can really create your really micro social network of the people you find fit to invite to your social network.
So you have to invite them in.
Yes.
So there's no opportunity for, somebody that I really don't want to have access to my information, because I know that with some social mediums,
yes,
there have been opportunities that, people have seen their photographs that they thought were on a social medium network, and then they'd end up in an ad somewhere. So there's no opportunity for that to happen with Proud on TV.
Not at all. Not at all. This what you said, this happens every day. And therefore our solution is strictly private. And it is only up to you who you find fit to invite to your diary. So you need to send them personalized invitation via email or via Facebook. And only based on this invitation they can gain access to get into your diary. And on top of that, you can decide as well what rights you give to a person. If the person is able only to view the content, for instance, or if you can interact with the content, commenting, liking the common features of the regular social media people are used to, or if he even can upload his own content to your diary.
So they're I guess regular. What do you want to call it? Restrictions. There could potentially be, just say, I'm your fifth cousin.
Yes.
And there may be some videos that you may not want me to see.
Exactly.
You can restrict me from seeing those, but your fiance can see all of them.
Well, this is more like a channel structure that you suggested, and this is not really included in the family diary solution. This will be included more in the business solution.
Okay.
But you can give those people you invite those rights, as I said before, that they can only view or they can even upload the content. Obviously, then when they will be not behaving as you wish, or they will be doing something that you don't like, you can ban them from the diary or block them completely in their access. So that's it. It's nothing they can do with it then after. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So how long have you been around?
Well, we are around over 3 years now, and this is actually a second generation of this solution, because the original software platform we built it on couldn't cope with requirements really for the solution. So we've basically developed it from the scratch on a brand new platform, and this new solution is around for over a year now, or a year, something like that.
Okay, and so it's global.
It is.
How long have you been in the U.S.?
In the U.S., we've been over 3 years now,
Okay.
since the first beta solution was introduced, and it is a worldwide solution. At the moment, we have only English mutation, so it's for English-speaking countries, but different mutations as a Spanish or German mutation, they are coming up as well.
Okay, so you're going to roll those out relatively in the next year, 2 years?
Year. Hopefully shortly than a year, because everything is ready, set up for that. It just takes time because it's really robust, the engine, so it takes time to do all the changes properly.
So how much does a diary cost, a video diary, Proud on TV?
Actually, to start, it is absolutely free for everybody. It's no
Did you hear that? Free.
It's no strings attached. Obviously, no contracts have to be signed, nothing. It's free to try, and you have 1 gigabyte of free storage to play around with, and to find out if it's a good fit for you. So if you like the solution, if it's easy to navigate, if it's easy really, if it's a good fit for your family and for your needs. So that is absolutely for free. Now, just recently, we've upgraded our storage plans. So we added a lot more storage for people to use for their money. And then the basic plan basic annual plan is $59, and it includes 100 gigabytes of storage.
Right.
And that is about 25,000 photos or videos, roughly. So it's a large storage. And the premium plan, it costs $129, and it includes 400 gigabytes of storage, and that it's really a lot. You would have to be really busy with your diary to fill all that. Yeah.
So would you say your average client probably goes with smaller?
You see, it depends.
It depends.
It really depends, because the feedback we are getting from our customers, even if they are like older generation, so they are a little bit reluctant, or hesitating to give it a try at the first time, then they are really getting addicted to it, because it's really easy to navigate, it's really easy to set up, and it's really entertaining if it's fed with fresh content all the time, with all the family updates and everything. So it makes people to come back to consume that content. So they are really addicted to it. And it again depends only on the size of a family and how really active they are, how they are used to creating their videos, because we support mostly videos. You can also add the photos, but we really prefer videos because they tell more of a story. So it depends, honestly. It depends. For instance, when we talked about our CEO, before it was like that his mom always called him, and first question was not how are you or what's new or something, but how are the little ones? Yeah.
Exactly.
What's new with them? Yeah, what are they doing?
Are
and
they
what's
walking yet?
Yeah, exactly. So he needed to explain her and everything. But now, using this diary, she always gets notifications to her email about new content. So she immediately runs to a computer and is checking, viewing that new content. And now when she calls him, she's not asking how are they, but she's actively participating in what they are doing. For instance, I don't know, it's a little bit chilly this morning, so she would be calling if he uploaded a video. Oh, why the little one didn't get the boy didn't get the hat on his head? Yeah.
Yes.
And what's the story? How come you let him like this? Outside. So she's at the other side of the country, but she's actively there with them every day, participating at what they do, and that is really addictive, and that is really why people are using this, and they are really active users. So they use lots of space. Yeah. So
well, I'm glad to hear, because that was one of the questions I had. If I'm uploading, will my affiliates, my associates, will they know? But they get an email. Is it an email, or is it a text, or how are they notified? You
can by email, and you can decide how often do you want to get those notifications. If every day, or if a monthly email or weekly email, but you are notified about the new content. Or anytime you log into your diary from whatever device, from your tablet, from your mobile phone, smartphone, or from a computer, there's always a notification tab, and there's always a number if there is some new action on the.
Thomas, who do you view as your true target audience for ProudOnTV?
Well, as we said before, it's dedicated to families.
Families in general?
Yeah, families.
So if I'm a teenager?
Well, you can use this as well, because what we found out that these days, you see, it's really not cool for the teenagers to be associated with their parents on the social media. It's really not cool for them, and it's definitely not cool for them to interact even with those parents, and to say the most common things like "Mommy, I love you." That's absolutely unacceptable, because they would be laughed at. So it helps families this way as well, that they can, especially with teenagers, their parents, they can stay in touch like this through our solution, and they are not afraid to share these thoughts and feelings and everything. So it is for them, but it's mostly for the families concerned about the privacy and about the peace of mind, really. And it is basically a storage place for all of their precious content, and it always will be there. So yeah, so that is the.
So if somebody wants to sign up,
yes,
they want to create a diary.
Yes.
What do they have to do?
As you said, they have to create a diary. They can't sign up because we're not a service. We are software as a solution.
So you have to.
That is a different. No,
no,
you create
signing up.
Your own diary.
Okay.
And that says that it is your diary. It's your property, basically.
Okay.
So you will never losing the rights to your content. It always stays your content, and it's basically your virtual website of your family.
Okay.
So that is a nice thing, and it's very easy. And anybody who would like to try that, just go on to ProudOnTV.com and just create your diary today. It's that simple.
Just that simple.
Very simple.
What have I missed? Have I missed anything that you want to share with our viewers about ProudOnTV?
Well, Our biggest concern basically is that goes with this product, that most of the people these days, they are absolutely unaware of the risks that are there on common social media. So that is our main duty basically, to be educating people about these dangers.
Right.
Yeah, and they are tied to these social media, because honestly they are absolutely unaware until something happens, and then it's too late. It's loads of bad stuff out there. It's loads of bullying, it's loads of sexting, it's loads of privacy exploitations, privacy thefts, identity thefts, and so on. And rarely anybody reviews terms of conditions or privacy policy before they click accept and they use the service. Yeah, so
you're right about that.
Yeah,
Most
exactly.
people just want to go ahead and sign on or participate as soon as possible.
Exactly.
But I always find myself saying, let me just email the agreement to myself and review it, and then I'll come back and sign up.
How many people does that?
Very few, I'm sure.
Exactly.
But you may be signing away all of your photographs or comments.
Exactly.
So.
And that is what's happening, because people like free stuff.
Yes.
So they like free social media. But what they don't realize, it's a second thing as well, that they are not at all free, because all of this personal information of theirs and all of their behavior and all of their preferences is being tracked, and it's being supplied to third parties for further marketing, to them. So then they are surprised and they are annoyed by being spammed by unwanted advertisements and unsolicited advertisements and all of the banners, all of the pop-up windows and everything. But they don't realize that this is the cost of that free service. So it is not free service; it's a premium service. Yeah.
I had not even thought about that. But when I signed on to, and we'll say the no-name social media that I signed on to, that I asked people to go and post on the Dialogue with Deidre page. But I noticed that if I, from my website, for my email, or from my search engine.
Exactly.
If I go to a Macy's or a dress shop or a Saks, and then I go to my social media network, I see the ad right there.
Exactly. That's called the cookies. Yeah, that's what people don't realize. Yeah, exactly.
So
because they are tracking your behavior. Yeah, what you're doing on the web, and then they target you because you're a target audience for them because you searched something else.
So that wouldn't happen with my
Definitely
my
not. It is absolutely hidden even from SEO searches. So not even
no search engine
not even the Google bots can get into it. Even if I knew the name of your video, I can't get into it because it's not being indexed. So nobody without the invitation can get in or even search for your content.
I think that's exciting. The privacy piece of it is very exciting.
Exactly.
So to all of you moms and grandmas like me out there and to my sons who I hope they're watching, you need to sign up because I want to see my grandbabies, and I don't need everybody else seeing my grandbabies when they're doing stuff, right? All right, Thomas, thank you so much for being on Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we'll definitely have you come back.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And thank for all of you viewing out there.
Sounds good. And remember to go to the website, all right, and create your own diary. It's very, very inexpensive. And remember, it's private. So you have an opportunity to invite people to participate and view your content. It is private. It would be yours. You're watching Dialogue with Deidre. When we come back, we'll have a conversation with Latrivia Nelson, who's the producer of this show. I'm going to ask her the question, what's really going on with young folk, and why are they not voting? When we come back.
This past year, we all learned the statistics are true. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience child abuse, usually at the hands of someone they know. Child abuse happens every day. Learn the signs and take action, because keeping a child safe is everybody's business. Make a difference. Visit safehorizon.org to find out more. Safe Horizon, moving victims of violence from crisis to confidence.
Did you know that every 34 seconds someone has a heart attack? Every 40 seconds someone has a stroke? But it doesn't have to be that way. Every day there's hope. Join me and the American Heart Association and get serious about your heart and your health. If you're doing nothing, do something. If you're doing something, do more. Find healthy living solutions from the American Heart Association's My Heart, My Life. It's that simple.
Hello, my name is Crystal Conley. I'm with Internal Health and Medical Services. If you're looking for a house call doctor, one that you can call, one that cares, call 901-421-5174. We provide mobile eye, mobile x-rays, medication management. We'll help you get your prescriptions refilled. We're the doctors that care. Call us 901-421-5174. Looking to hear from you.
I'm Dominique Dawes. How do you start your day? I always start with a healthy breakfast. Whether you're practicing for a game or studying for a test, eating breakfast every day can improve your concentration and help you perform your best. Kids who eat a healthy breakfast have more energy to work hard and play hard. That's why you should check out your school's breakfast program. It's for everyone, so make sure you energize your day. Eat school breakfast.
Wow, tell around your drugstore, and your drugstore. Hey, we everyone's drugstore. And we're located at 3333 East Chevy Drive, 794-3690. All medical plans. We support supported living, assisted living. We do it all. And guess what? We even have a $4 plan. Hey, call to ask Dr. Brown about that. I gotta go because she's coming with those boots.
The Carter Malone Group is a full-service public relations agency. Celebrating 10 years of being in business, the Carter Malone Group is located in Midtown Memphis and represents clients across the country. No matter what size your business, if you are interested in promoting your product or service and increasing your market share, contact the firm that can help you meet your goals. The Carter Malone Group. Call 901-278-0881 today.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
because I am a proud Democrat and reading the book about the next president of the United States. I think we'd start Latrivia Nelson, who's the producer of this show and also was one of the chairmen of Deidre Malone for Shelby County Mayor Young Professionals Initiative. Latrivia, always good to have you on Dialogue with Deidre.
It's always a pleasure to be on Dialogue with Deidre. Thank you for having me.
you know, you're normally here behind the scenes.
Way back there.
Yeah, just making things happen.
Yes.
You know, making
Yes.
sure that our guests are here, that
And
you're
happy.
lining them up and happy.
Yes.
But we need to have a serious conversation, Mrs. Nelson,
Yes.
about what's really going on with young folk in your age demographic. Why are they not as engaged as they should be when it comes to elections?
You know, I think we have to be honest. I think that people do not feel that responsibility the way that they should. They're more focused on their jobs. They're more focused on social media. They're more
Right.
focused on their own private lives, and they don't understand how the two correlate. How local elections, like county elections, citywide elections, are more important a lot of times than your federal elections.
They are.
But they don't understand that. A lot of the conversations that I've had have surprised me, especially over this last year, where people didn't even understand that the city is in the county.
Amazing.
And we're talking about educated people with several degrees, and you would think that they would have that knowledge, but when it comes to politics, they stop.
Right.
You know, they pick a party. Some of them aren't even doing that, which is fine as long as you have an issue.
Right.
But they aren't aware. They just, you know, it's all about work and it's all about play, but they don't seem to really appreciate how important it is that they go and cast their votes.
You know, I think back to when I was around your age and how I was in the media. So I was a news producer, and you have to be unbiased. You can't really be associated with any type of party. And the first thing I did after I left the media was go to the Democratic Party office and sign up. And then became president of the Midtown Downtown Democratic Club. My boys were young then, and I dragged them to the meeting, so they grew up in it.
Right.
You know, so, you know, making sure that they knew
Absolutely.
why elections were important. And one of your committee members is my youngest son, Brian, and he and Lauren.
Very active. Brian is
very,
very
active
yes.
in, you know, on the executive committee of the party, and he and Lauren Evans are going to be on next week to talk about the same issue. But it's just, I don't understand it. I mean, when you think about healthcare, when you think about, specifically locally, when you think about education,
Absolutely.
when you think about the opportunity to maybe get a Hope Scholarship,
Yes.
all of that is affected by your local vote.
And you know, the thing about it is that, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one, what I find interesting is a lot of people want to talk about it, but when you ask them if they voted, they say, no, I didn't vote because I don't feel like my vote counts.
I heard
And
that a lot.
I hear that a lot, and you know, we have to, if we're going to make a difference in these upcoming elections, then we have to start to vote. We have to take time and take that lunch, and instead of going and grabbing something to eat or meeting with our friends, we have to say, I'm going to go vote.
Right.
We're going to have to get up and make sure that we know where our locations are. A lot of people, they wait to the very last moment, and somebody says, you should vote, and they say, okay, I'm going to go vote. And then they wait to the last minute and get to the poll and realize that their polling location has changed.
Right.
They are not aware of those types of things, you know, and so they get there, and that's just an excuse to just go back home. We have to be diligent as young people, because we realize we're going to be here longer, let's be honest, than our grandparents. You know, my grandparents, they go over to Pine Hill,
Right.
and vote. My grandmother I love her to death, but she, you know, was barely making it up that hill, and
But
she
she
went
was
in the
going to
rain.
vote.
Yes, in the rain to vote. My grandfather can't move, but he still absentee votes. We were just raised by people who continuously pushed us to vote, and there's so many that are. So it's not lost. It's not about our parents and grandparents not expressing the importance. It's about us really taking on that responsibility and saying, okay, I pay my taxes.
Right.
You know, I take care of my children. I make sure that they get a proper education. But I also need to go and vote because that's a direct link to all of it. You know, we're the ones buying these houses. Our parents and our grandparents are established. They're in their homes. They're paid off. We're buying homes in new communities. We're getting jobs. We're getting mid-level, senior-level management. We want a bigger home. And yet we don't understand how picking the wrong person can increase our taxes.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Well, when we were out on the campaign trail over the course of the last year, I remember going into these little small beauty shops and talking to groups of women and saying, do you not understand that this election can affect your child's education? Let's talk about how.
Exactly.
And they looked at me and they said, we hadn't even looked at it like that. And I said, how many of you voted for President Obama in the last election?
Everyone, yeah.
Okay, so federal dollars come from the federal government for education, but half of the education budget comes from your local government.
Right.
Do you know who your school board member is?
No, they don't.
It's amazing.
And we have to, I think the most important thing, a lot of times in conversation, to be polite, we say discussing no politics, no religion.
Right.
We have to stop that. We have to incorporate these types of conversations, especially about our politics and in terms of our political structure and what we want into conversations. We have to remind people that voting for or against something is going to affect your ability to decide what you want to do with your own body.
That's true. Amendment 1.
Exactly. I mean, I'm having conversations with people about whether they are Republican or Democrat or independent. People my age, most of them felt like they wanted control,
Right.
that choice to be able to decide what they wanted to do with their bodies. But at the same time, they didn't go cast a vote.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Shelby County, Davidson County, Knox, and whatever county Chattanooga's in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The urban pockets won the vote. It's the rural areas,
Right.
Latrivia, that I guess they figured, you know, we need more regulations. No, we don't.
Right.
When it comes to those clinics, no, we don't.
Exactly.
So it's just amazing. I had breakfast with a former colleague of mine on the county commission this morning, Bruce Thompson. We were the youngest commissioners on the county commission. He was a Republican, or he is a Republican. I'm a Democrat, but we really got along. I was the youngest, and we forged a relationship where we could build a coalition to move an agenda forward when it came to funding our schools.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was truly a fiscal conservative, but I would say to him, you got to have the money for the schools.
Yes.
Now, we can negotiate about something else, some buildings or something else, but we're going to have some money for some schools.
Exactly.
So, but we were young. We were young, and we knew how important it was for us to be engaged in this political process. What do you think is going to get folk out to vote in the upcoming election? We have a very important election coming up in 2015.
Yes.
It is the city council races,
Yes.
the city mayor's race. What do you think is going to get folk out, specifically young folk?
We're going to have grassroots efforts that cross party lines. We're going to have more conversations in our churches. We're going to have more conversations with our sorority sisters and fraternity brothers. We're going to have to create the conversation. We're going to have to make it important. And we're going to have to make Democrats understand that it's important for you to go and get someone. If every Democrat went and just took one person to the polls, we could actually do something significant for our county. But we have to commit to doing more than just talking about it. Also, we have to say, you know what, I really know that this is important, and I know that you might need a ride, so how about I pick you up and I take you?
Right.
Or I realize that, you maybe are not registered, so I'm going to bring you a voter's registration card. I'm going to show you and walk you through the process because your vote is just that important. We have to get engaged. Young people have to do more. It really bothers me that we vote more on American Idol.
Oh my goodness.
That we,
Dancing with Stars, The Voice.
Oh, and like on Facebook, we like on Facebook. But when it comes to, and we will discuss it to the point of being upset on Facebook. And then you ask them for the voter's registration card and they don't have one.
No. Latrivia, I've run into young folk, and I have to say, we had a really strong coalition of young folk in our campaign.
We did.
They were dedicated.
Very happy about that.
I thank you very much.
No problem.
Very dedicated. But after the election's over, I can run into somebody to say, your age group, Deidre, we're going to vote for you in November. I'm like, the election's over.
Exactly.
Do you not know that the election's over?
No. We have to. That's
amazing.
Again, that's the thing. We have to. In my mind, it's going to be important for us to get wherever all the popular things are going on.
Right.
I'm going to. I would love to be one of those people to, in the middle of watching the game, grab it during playoffs and and don't forget to go out and vote.
Exactly.
We have to get in front of people. Now, we did see, I won't say there weren't any, we saw a lot of young people who came out in the rain.
Yes, they did.
In the heat. They posted on their social media. They came to discussions. They were very active. The event that we had down at City Hall, we got a lot of people, who came out for that. But in comparison to the larger population, I think that's not significant enough. It's wonderful that we have, a few thousand people involved. But when you think about the number of young adults that are in this county, we are continuously trying to figure out how to engage them. We run into each other at the gym. We run into each other at Starbucks. We run into each other at the library. We run into each other at the movies. And we're all talking about some of the same
and at the club
thing.
when you're getting your drink on.
We run. It's happy hour. Now we say it's happy hour. Everybody's there.
Yeah.
2 for 1. I'm here, and I brought somebody.
Right.
But when it comes to, let's really attack the issues. We're trying to get away from those things, that are stressful. But it's an obligation that we owe to not only ourselves but to our children, because people in our age group, we're having children. Our children are the ones who need these dollars.
Right.
Our children are the ones who really need to be globally competitive, and yet we are not setting them up by not going to vote.
The decisions that voters make today, and this is one of the things I said throughout our campaign, will affect our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children. I think about Head Start. We talked about Head Start and the transition from it being a county-run agency funded by the federal government to the school system that wasn't ready. It wasn't ready, but these decisions are made by people who probably have not had to have that type of experience and use it. And so, but those of us who have should be vigilant and should have gone out to vote.
And I find it interesting, I've had this conversation, the ones who need to vote aren't voting.
Right.
And the ones who are voting against the agenda that's going to help us don't want us to vote.
Right.
Why is that not motivation enough for you to say, okay, if you don't want me to vote, there must be something in there that's going to affect me.
Right.
It's going to affect my community. It's going to affect my family. It's really important for you to ask questions. Your elected officials are not just there to cast a vote. They're there always. Your phone continuously rang. It still rings.
Right.
People asking you, what does this mean? How is this going to impact me? Don't not vote on the issue. Find someone that you trust to ask them about it. But go vote.
And Latrivia, I think that voters need to realize that the candidates and eventually the elected officials work for them. And sometimes we hold our elected officials to this high standard of, I can't really call them. They won't listen to me. They won't, handle the requests that I have for them. But that's the reason they're elected.
And if they're not handling it,
then you need to vote them out.
Then you need to vote them out, because you're right. They are public servants.
They are.
And, in watching you for many years, and the fact that you will take time, you will answer emails and phone calls, the good, the bad, the ugly, that you're so thorough. It gave an excellent example. It was why I was so adamant about serving on the Young Professionals for Deidre Malone. It was because I've seen you walk the walk, and you've set a really high standard for people who need to do better. You're welcome. They need to appreciate what they have and what that responsibility is. But if you're dealing with people who don't want to hear what you have to say, you're right. Vote them out. You should be able to say, hey, I've got a question about a pothole.
Right.
I've got a question about something that you're going to be voting on. I've got a comment about something that I don't like, maybe something you can consider. And you should be able to have that conversation, but in order for us to be able to do that, we have to know who they are. Most people don't even know who's in their district.
You also have to hold the media accountable.
Yes.
Because the media will allow elected officials to get away with a great deal. And then, the average citizen doesn't know. For example, and this is a good one, A.C. Wharton has taken on the challenge of trying to reform the city pensions at a very bad time, trying to restructure the health care packages for the city employees. That was tough. And everybody's not happy with the outcome, so to speak. He's on the front page of the newspaper all the time, dealing with those issues. After our election, when Mayor Mark Luttrell won, one of the first items of business was the health care issue on the county side. You never saw his picture. You saw county commissioners who were showcased.
But he was not grilled, and he wasn't asked hard questions.
He was never grilled or asked the hard questions. So, shame on you, local media, for not being fair and equitable in your coverage.
You have to. And if we want to say that we're being transparent as a community, it has to start at that level.
It does.
We have to be able to say that if we're going to talk about pensions and we're going to talk about health care, then we have to be able to talk about it on a city and county level.
Exactly.
And if someone isn't willing to discuss that, then they should be voted out. That's my opinion.
That's all we're saying.
And that's all I'm saying.
So, do you think social media helped our campaign?
Yes, I was really impressed with how people would say, I'm hearing that Deidre's stance is this, that, and the other. And they would ask directly, is that true?
Right.
It gave us an opportunity to engage people who maybe work different hours and they can't come to the forums, they can't come to the fundraisers, can't come to the discussions, but they want to know or they want to help. And social media has definitely taken on a totally different realm in terms of our reality.
Exactly.
In the last 10 years. It was very helpful to engage people, to have discussions, and also to encourage people. One of the things that came out of your campaign, a lot of young women like myself felt like it was time for you're like, hey, I'm not done, and we're not done with you. Let me just say that
I might be done.
There's so much work and so much help and so much education that needs to go on. You will always be a go-to person, regardless of what you decide to do. But, it was one of those things where you were empowering us. You're like, okay, some of the firsts that I've knocked out.
Right.
First African American female chair of the county commission. Now it's up to you to do the next
Exactly.
thing. You know, the first African American female to win a primary, and you won it against, you know, some serious people in the community. It wasn't like it was lopsided. You went against some other strong candidates, and you were the only woman. And on top of that, being an African American woman, which, you know, in a city where, you know, African Americans are also the larger demographic.
Right.
I'm confused about why more of us don't vote on that, you know, in that regard.
And there are more women voters
Exactly.
than men voters. But you know, one real solid takeaway from that election for me was, and I heard it Saturday, and it's humbling, when a young female like yourself walked up to me and she said, "You're my shero.
Mm-hmm.
I look at what you've been able to do, and I know now that I can do it." And I got misty-eyed, because if that is what, you know, me going through what I went through did for someone else,
Right.
then it was a good thing.
It did it for a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us, you know, like I said, more of us need to vote, but for the women who came out to vote,
Right.
We came out to vote for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
We wanted to see history made, but we believed in the agenda, and we knew that you were talking about the issues that affected us. You were talking about the issues that we brought to the table,
Exactly.
and you were talking about our families that we were dealing with on a daily basis. How, you know, what is my education for my child going to look like? And I think being able to attack those kind of issues head on, I mean, let's be honest, they came at you every which way they could.
They did.
But you stayed focused on our concerns and our agenda. And we have to do that now. We have to say, you know what, I'm going to vote in every election, because it is that important.
It's important. It's important. And I just challenge our young folk to get out and pay attention to the candidates. I think you remember me saying all the time when I was in front of groups, you may decide you don't want to vote for me, but at least go out there, do your homework on
Yes.
the candidates, and vote, because that's your right.
Exactly.
You know, and so my hope is that more will. If you look at the voting patterns today, the voters in Shelby County are 65, the majority voters, 65 plus.
Yes, and that
65
makes
plus.
no sense at all. Why, you know, I would have the conversation with people all the time. Is we were in that area, we're right now in that place where the early voting is occurring. Have you gone to vote?
Right.
And it was always, I'm going to do it, I'm getting around to it. We don't do something.
Right.
The consequences and repercussions are going to be so bad. This isn't a scare tactic. This is a reality. Their consequences and repercussions are going to be so bad,
Right.
until we're not going to know how to get out of this. Instead of creating our cushion for ourselves and our families, we're creating more problems, because the agenda of a lot of us follows along with the Democratic Party, and we won't even get up and go vote.
You know, Trivi, my hope is that young people will realize their power and not be stagnant and allow some of the things that are currently happening to happen without, we want you to vote, but we also want you to have a voice.
Yes.
And what does that look like? What does it look like? It looks like, in my opinion, you emailing your elected officials
Yes.
saying, I disagree with you on this.
Sign the petitions and stop just deleting them. You know, I
Go
get
down
so
to those
many emails.
meetings.
Exactly.
And let the county commission know, let the city council know, go up to Nashville.
Exactly.
And when we go to Nashville, because we're going to be going to Nashville talking about Amendment 1,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be challenging them to do the right thing as they look at how they're going to advance additional legislation around clinics that involve women in their reproductive rights.
And it is our right.
It's your right.
You know, I don't think a 65-year-old person is dealing with this as much as someone who's 34.
Or
let's be
a
honest.
white male that is 45 plus when you think about...
Let me just say, I don't want a white male or black male or Asian male voting for me when he doesn't have the right to have a baby. I've got to, I'm the one. I'm a woman.
They're making the decisions. They're making decisions about what can and cannot happen in regards to your body because those are the individuals that we're electing.
Exactly, and that's a very poor choice because these are issues that affect us.
Right.
If I'm sick, I don't want someone who doesn't know me to choose whether or not I get the chance to live or not because it doesn't follow their agenda.
And I don't have a problem. I mean, a lot of my friends are white male or African American male elected officials, but they are men who understand the power of what a woman has to go through, and they vote their conscience associated with that.
That's why women, our age group, need to go out and vote.
They do.
If we were talking about male reproduction, do you think more women would be voting on it?
So my question is, do we ban Viagra?
If we did, it would be on the black market like we've never seen before.
I think we need legislation to ban it.
Yes, if we're going to ban.
Let's change the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen.
And we're going to end on this note. Latrivia, it's always a pleasure to have you on Dialogue with Deidre. And when I'm not in this chair, you will be, as you know.
Yes.
So who do we have coming on Monday?
Tune in. We're really excited. We have Kevin Woods coming up next week. And really excited about talking to him as well as Cardell and Stand for Children. And we're going to have Dee Harris on. So we're going to have a really good group of people coming to us to talk more about education.
I love it. And Commissioner Kevin Wood has been on the Shelby County School Board for a couple of years now and was in a hard-fought legal battle with one of my competitors, Kenneth Whalum. And so we're gonna discuss that as well.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Me either.
All right. Thanks, Trivy.
Thank you.
Look, viewers, thank you so much for watching Dialogue with Deidre. We hope that you enjoyed our show today. We invite you to go to the Dialogue with Deidre Facebook page. Let us know what you thought about the show, what you think about the show. Then also let us know the types of shows you want to see. Latrivia and I are working on it, and Eddie, who is the man behind the scene, making sure that everything is switched properly. We want to hear from you, so we look forward to it. And make sure you're back here on Monday at noon. Have a good day.